All right, coach is here, so whenever we're ready, we'll open up the floor for questions.
It won't. There we go. It wouldn't let me. Someone had some things blocked on here. Well, we got three people that are allowed to ask questions today. You only get to ask questions if you show your face when it comes to my media availability. So, uh, fire away.
Hey, Coach, going back to the post game on Saturday, I think against Old Dominion, you mentioned that you felt like maybe you guys had taken a step back with your 3-point defense. Can you elaborate on that and talk about what you're going to do moving forward to kind of get that back on track?
I mean, we have and we haven't at the same time. We played two teams that relied a ton on their 3-point shot. Let me pull up. Let's see here. I got another laptop. Let me pull it up actually while we're on here. Derek, come here. We'll get the guy in charge of it. I want to see where we're at. We are where we at in 3-point defense. I'm on media, by the way, so don't incriminate yourself right now.
We were number one in the country before Georgia Southern.
And what are we at now? But so when I say take a step back, we were number one in the country at defending the 3-point line. Out of 362 teams, we were number one in the country. So obviously, anything outside of being number one in the country would be a step back.
Now we're fourth in percent.
Now we're in fourth. So it wasn't a drastic step back. We just played two teams that relied heavily on it. And if you think back to the Georgia Southern and Old Dominion game, both those teams made some tough threes. So it's still our best defensive quality. We guard the 3-point line extremely well. We were number one in the country for almost the entirety of the non-conference.
Coach, you said that, or you posted in a tweet that the fellows are locked into the process. Coaches talk about process a lot. Can you tell me a little bit about what it means, what your process is, or what the Arkansas State process is in a nutshell?
It's showing up to work every day. You can't cheat this game. So, you have to practice well to play well. And taking it one game at a time. I don't mean it to. I didn't want to use it in the cliche way that everybody else talks about trusting the pro. No, it's just everything we do in life is a process. So and it's not we're not in a rebuild, but in the process of flipping a program. I mean, I think everybody saw Kara's tweet yesterday. This is the highest KenPom ranking Arkansas State's had since Grant McCassin was here, and that's with a 6-9 record. So too many people get caught up in non-conference records. Well, I could have. I'll just let y'all know right now. I don't think I'm the best coach in the world, but I bet you I could have scheduled us how many non-conference games did we play? 12. I bet you I could have. I bet you I could have scheduled us a 10-2 non-conference if I really wanted to, and everybody would think that we've got everything figured out. We would have walked into Sunbelt play at 10-2, and I'm the best coach in the world, and we got the best players in the world, and then all of a sudden we got to go on the road and play, at Southern Miss next week and get smacked in the face because we hadn't seen an environment like that. That doesn't do anybody any good. So the process for us is all encompassing. It's the non-conference schedule we played. Battling through the injuries that we've had. Getting other people in the program like Julian the Wall to take the steps that he's taken, to have the growth that he's had. Isaiah Nelson's growth, like just top to bottom, us showing up to work every day and preparing to win basketball games one game at a time. And because again, too many people get caught up in the non-conference stuff. We had we were getting blasted early on for taking too many threes. Well, I think some of those people learned a little basketball over the last month and a half. Just the way we play, this is new to all these guys. And, they had to trust the process as far as shying away from not at the rim twos and mid-range jump shots and taking more threes and layups. And so just this whole thing's new to everybody here. And I think we're growing.
Coach,
Coach,
looking
are
at, go ahead,
Go
Kara.
ahead, Kevin.
I was
Jeremy's
just
got-
going to ask about Texas State and getting the tempo that you want. Obviously, their totals are a little different, than what you've had.
And so what's the question?
Well, just what do you need to do to get the tempo at the pace you want with Texas State?
I mean, play our basketball. I mean, we dictate tempo, not them. What we talk about in pregame is we dictate how the game's going to be played here on Thursday. Texas State doesn't dictate that. We dictate that. And so that's something that we want to do out of the gate. We've got a borderline top 100 offense in the country. We have the 107th ranked offense in the country right now in KenPom. And so, and it would be a lot higher. We had a couple bad performances in there that are wearing us down, but we dictate tempo. We're not, Texas State can't stop us from playing at the pace that we want to play at. They're very good defensively, but I think one thing that you'll see about our offense is our offense isn't as much as the Twitter world may think, live by the three, die by the three. We've got game plans for everything. Now we've got, I think, one of the best shooting teams in the country. So, if we get open looks, we're going to take them. If you guard the 3-point line, we've got guys that can take you off the bounce. We're going to rotate, fly around, but also on top of that, we can still get the threes the way, if someone's taking us off the 3-point line and we penetrate, if you fly the ball around and you put a defense in rotation, you're still going to get clean looks from three. I mean, that's just the way the game's played. Either you're going to help at the rim, and if you help at the rim, we're going to spray it out and we're going to get a look on the other side of the floor. If you don't help at the rim, we're going to get a layup. So, pick your poison. But no, we dictate pace, and so nothing changes for us there.
Coach, what's the next step forward for Isaiah Nelson? He's already shown, so much growth this year. Kind of what do you want to see him do next as he continues to improve offensively and defensively?
I think just, realistically, right now, Isaiah, as good as he's been, he's had a hard time guarding other teams' fives one-on-one, whether it's off the bounce, whether it's in the post. So he's got to get better at his individual defense. Right now, he's been a good help defender for us. He's been a rim protector. He's actually been very good as far as defensive scheme. He's been very understanding of what we want him to do and where we want him to be. He's been a great talker for us. He does a good job. I know that, our guards feel comfortable with him back there protecting the rim. So now we've got to take it one step further. He's got to guard his individual matchups better. We've had problems keeping other teams' fives from scoring one-on-one. And now we played some really good ones in the non-conference, going to, Wisconsin and Iowa. But I think here in the Sun Belt, we're not going to see as much as that. Most of the Sun Belt lost their bigs to the transfer portal, unfortunately. But so we're not going to see, many true dominant post players in our league right now. Post players are they're getting scooped up in the transfer portal immediately. But even just off the bounce, he's letting guys that are slower than him beat him off the dribble to the basket. I'm thinking of the Belmont game. Our fives just took turns letting their fives, drive them from the elbow. So I think that's the next step for him is individual defense.
Are you a fan of this schedule where you play 4 at home, then 4 on the road in the conference?
I'm a fan of the 4 at home. So I don't, let me look at our schedule here. So we go finish up here and then obviously Southern Miss, Texas State, Louisiana, Monroe, and then Southern Miss. What's crazy to me, I don't understand is why we would play Louisiana twice in the next 4 games and Southern Miss twice in the next. I mean, I just don't get that. I felt like I feel like that could be balanced out a little bit better. So you're not playing the same opponent back to back like that. I'm not sure. Like for example, we play Texas State today, on Thursday, and then we play them again on the 20th. So we play them 9 days apart. We play Louisiana on the 13th, and then we play them again on the 25th. We play Monroe on the 27th, and then play them again on the 3rd. So I just that part I don't quite get. But 4 on the road, 4 at home. You got to win games, and that's why these 4 at home are so important. You're going to play them whether they're back to back or not. I'd prefer, not to be on the road for 4 straight. But if that's the way it happens, it's our job to go take care of business. Not going to sit here and complain about it.
Coach, the first, I don't know, 9 games of the season, your team was averaging about 15.5 turnovers per contest, including 22 at UA Little Rock. But in the last 6 games, you've knocked that down to 9.8 turnovers, a little less than 10. How do you account for that? How do you account for that that improvement?
Well, you live in Little Rock, right? Were you at the game?
I was at the game.
I don't know how so many people that were at the game just didn't realize that we played the entire second half without a point guard. That tends to lead to turnovers. That game keeps getting mentioned. I had people that messaged me after the game and had no idea that Caleb Fields didn't play in the second half. I had people that messaged me after the Belmont game and had no idea that Freddie Hicks only played the first 2 minutes. Which is very confusing to me for people that are in media and follow basketball. But yeah, I mean, the Little Rock game, we played without a point guard. Some of the other games, Caleb Fields was injured for Alabama. He played hurt against Bowling Green. And we moved Taryn Todd over to the point guard spot, which is not his natural position. I mean, it was a little bit of trial and error at the point guard spot. It was also the combination, which I've said, many times, of take this roster. I'm looking at it right now. I want to make sure when I talk to you guys, I have all the stats in front of me. These guys, I mean, last year, tempo wise, Arkansas State was in the bottom 20 in the country, right? So we're taking guys that were for their last 4 years had played in the bottom 20 in the country in tempo. And now we're asking them to play somewhere in that top 100 range, right? You're completely flipping everything they're used to. So Caleb Fields is going to turn the ball over. The top to bottom. I mean, we even the bigs, Isaiah Nelson, that. It's just a totally different brand of basketball. What I think you're seeing as we're getting away from some of these turnovers is they're getting more comfortable playing this style of play, which is, again, why you play the non-conference schedule you do. Because had I scheduled us a 10-2 non-con, and I promise you I could have, had I scheduled us a 10-2 non-con and nobody turned us over and we just felt great and we're winning games by 20, and I played 8 home games and 3 to 4 non-division ones, and then all of a sudden we go into Sun Belt, well, we'd be battling that turnover problem right now. Instead, we got exposed early on and prepared ourselves for Sun Belt play. So I think that, we've been phenomenal in the assist to turnover category, and I plan on keeping it that way. People are going to try to turn us over more, but I think our backcourt's so good. I mean, good luck. I think they're learning. I think they're unselfish. Selfish players turn the ball over. Unselfish players, we talk about it all the time. Hit singles. Just want to hit singles. We don't need home runs. We just hit singles and score. And our guards are really good at doing that.
Coach, over these last 6 games, I think Caleb's had 43 assists, and obviously there's a second part to that, guys putting the ball in the basket. But just, how well has he been playing for you, really these last 6 games in particular?
He's been phenomenal. I think if you're talking about the best players in the Sun Belt right now, he's got to be in the conversation. I mean, a guy that runs the team and has 10 assists to 1 turnover, 8 assists to 1 turn. I mean, he's got 7, 8 assist games with 0 turnovers. He scores the ball. He plays 35 minutes. He guards the other team's best guard half the time. If he's not in conversation for the best player in the Sun Belt, then You know, and I think I think, you know, I don't think he got the respect that he deserved in the preseason stuff. But I'm glad that preseason stuff means nothing. I wish they would have picked us 14th. Like all the preseason stuff. What, you don't get any awards for that. That doesn't win you any basketball games. And so Caleb and I sat down and talked about it, and I think it's great. I think Caleb's going to prove to a lot of people in the Sun Belt how good of a player he is this year. You know, there's multiple. We talk about Ken Palm a lot. I mean, there's a couple other ones that are Haslametrics is a big one. Evan Maya is one that we use. I mean, right now, you know, Haslametrics has us as the 89th best offense in the country. So out of 362 teams, Haslametrics has us as the 89th best offense in college basketball. Well, Caleb Fields runs that offense. So, you know, I think he should be in that conversation. I don't think, you know, going back to this only goes back like 10 years. The next closest was, I think that was Grant McCaslin's year, 16, 17. Yeah, they were 157th on offense. So, you know, almost double where we're at now. Now that was a really good team. There's several different ways to do this. That team they had, or that year they had a phenomenal defense. They were 138th in the country in defense. And they were really, really good. But yeah, offensively, this is statistically the best offense from what I see. I mean, I can only see back right now in 10 years, but there's been nothing even close.
I know getting Caleb to come back was a pretty big thing. Has he proven to be maybe better than what you thought he was?
Yeah, I think he was I don't what's the most politically correct way to put this. I don't know that the way they played for the last 4 years really showcased how good he is. I mean, what does how does every guard want to play? They want to play fast. They want to have freedom. They want to play. And I mean, we let him play and to give him the freedom that we do and have him have the assist to turnover rate that he does on a top 100 offense in the country. I mean, yeah, he's better than I thought. I mean, but it was hard to see because they were 344th in the country in tempo. I mean, I saw a clip. We showed our guys a clip jokingly a couple months ago. They had a 5-on-3 break and in a Sun Belt game last year. And the whole bench stood up, coaching staff, and was yelling at them to stop and hold the basketball. Like early second half, 5-on-3 with a lead. And you know, it's not like a 30-point lead and they're trying to bleed the clock out. It was like single digits and they ended up losing the game. You know, I don't know that that's putting Caleb Fields in his best spots. Caleb, you know, good luck staying in front of him. And when he's coming downhill with a full head of steam, a lot easier to stay in front of a guy when he's walking the ball up and spacing's not really to his advantage, you know. So we put him in spacing, we put him in fast pace, we fly the ball up the floor. And I mean, good luck staying in front of him and Taryn Todd and Zane Butler and with a full head of speed, a full head of steam in the open floor.
Everybody good?
One more thing, Coach, could you give us an update on Freddie and Terrence Ford?
Freddie's making major improvements. One of the toughest guys I've ever coached. I think he's close. Not going to push him. I mean, if it was up to him, you know, he would have played a week. But it's just, you know, I don't know exactly who it was. Football. We had a football player this year. Coach Jones did who had this injury in him, and he missed a month up until the bowl game. So it's usually a month-long injury. But major progress here in the last several days. I wouldn't be surprised if he gave it a go on Thursday. If he didn't, Saturday. And then if not, 100% next week, unless there was some sort of setback. Terrence, again, I'm to clarify, Terrence has been cleared by the physicians. Terrence is trying to get himself comfortable playing on that foot and that ankle, and he's had some setbacks. So he got cleared, came back against Little Rock. For those of you that want to talk about the Little Rock game, he got cleared against Little Rock, rolled his ankle in the first 2 minutes of the game against Little Rock, did not play the rest of the game. And that he had a major setback there, and then he rolled it again here about a month ago. So and actually on non-basketball, he rolled it at the house. So he's cleared from his surgical procedure that he had this summer, and the doctors have cleared him. Now it's just him feeling like he's able to do what he needs to do on that foot, and I'm not going to push him. You know, he knows that we want him to play. He knows how we feel about him, and so when he's ready to go, he'll let us know. But I don't anticipate he won't be out there this week.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, appreciate it.
All right, thank y'all.